Yeah. And Ricochet is good.
Yeah, Ricochet. You probably
Sammy
like.
Kershaw. Sharon and I were just talking. Sammy Kershaw and Aaron Tippin are going to be performing in Fort Payne, Alabama this summer. I'm
Oh
pretty sure
wow.
it's free. They're phenomenal. Just saying.
Let's all go. Hey, they're starting back June Jam. I got the worst sunburn of my life at June Jam way back in the
Sharon,
90s.
just come join class. That's what brought up the conversation.
June Jam, baby. Oh my gosh. I can't, I mean, I could not. We went to the Western Sizzling after, and I could not move my legs. I was like, oh my God, I've never been burnt so much in all my life. It was terrible. Oh, it was good stuff. Hey, we don't normally have Antonia with us. Welcome in. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I like the spelling of it. It's kind of cool. Hey, I just saw Isabel's final exam. Girl, what are you doing working ahead? Huh? Yeah, nice. I liked it. I liked it a lot. So, y'all, couple things we could do. So I've been, everything is graded. Make sure, sometimes when I gave you a 0 on stuff that was back and I'll put your adjusted grade in, it doesn't update. So make sure if you got a 0 still on something that you submitted, make sure it's on you, right? Not me. It's on you to come to me and say, look, dude, fix my grade. So just want to make sure that everybody's okay. So any questions on anything? Or is everybody doing their reading? Everybody's fine, even though it's dated? Any questions, any comments on the little barber giving out the words of wisdom? I just love it. I love the little story. I hope y'all do too. It's so good. Any questions, any comments? Anything on Ray Dalio's all-weather portfolio? Some of you like it, some of you hate it. Some of you realize that it's better for people who are probably nearer retirement or in retirement, to kind of diversify. That's good. A lot of you said it's probably the most conservative portfolio that we've all talked about so far, and it is. So yeah, someone wants diversification, that's good. Let me say this, diversification is overrated in my opinion. I don't like the diversification as much. I am a all-in S&P 500 dude. Y'all know me. That's as much diversification as my portfolio needs. I got 500 companies. We're good. So that's not for most people. I realize I'm a gunslinger. I've been a gunslinger all my life. So I'm a risk taker. And I realize that's why I want to make sure that I give you guys something out there that is more conservative. I also want to say this. In my opinion, dividends are overrated. I'm not a big dividend lover. I'm not a lover of companies that pay dividends. Just my thing. Because I'm sitting there going, don't pay me my money back. Go do something. Innovate. Grow. Do something. Don't pay me back. I don't want the cash. There's a reason I give you my money to buy stock in your lousy corporation. Don't give me dividends. Now, when I'm 80 years old and, I've lost my voice, hey, I'm looking like this, I'll probably love dividends, right? I'll be like, how much dividends did we get this month, Beth? And I'll be all for them. But right now, screw dividends. Don't pay me a dividend. I can't stand them, right? So I understand why people like dividends. Oh, and there are people who just build their entire portfolio with dividend paying stocks and blah, 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 blah. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I just think that dividends are overblown. I want a company that's innovating. I want somebody that's growing, that's opening more franchises, more locations, building. That's what I'm about. I don't want Amazon to pay me a dividend. I want Amazon to come up with the next freaking whatever that's new, and they're doing drugs now on Amazon. They're doing. I want you to be trying to do drone deliveries to my house. That's what I want Amazon to be working on, not paying me back. I give you my money from the company for you to do something with, not to pay me back. Okay, so I don't like dividends. I don't like overly diversified portfolios, because overly diversified portfolios always underperform the market. And sometimes underperformance of the market is what people want. They want slow and grow. I got it. So we have talked about a number of things in this class. We have talked about investing in your significant other. We have talked about investing in yourself. We have talked about investing in the financial markets, which has included a discussion of commodities. We've included futures. We've included options. We've included stocks, ETFs. We've covered the gamut of investment choices. Today, we're going to talk about something different, and we're going to talk about not investing in yourself, not investing in your significant other, not investing in financial markets. We're going to talk about investing in your community, in your planet, in your in your little community, in your inner circle of friends. That's what we're going to talk about today, because it would pain me for you to leave this class and keep all the knowledge and wisdom that you and I have shared together to yourself. What has been shared with you in this class, the simple path to wealth, is something that should be shared with the world. And I certainly don't have the voice or the reach to allow this knowledge to get around the world, but I do through you guys, you, the ambassador of goodwill, grace, and financial wisdom to the planet that is around you. And that's a big, big weight upon your shoulders. So please don't leave this class and hoard it for yourself. I want you guys to leave and to share it with others. I want to share with you now about Kids Peace. Kids Peace. Kids Peace mission is to give hope, help, and healing to children, adults, and those who love them. Kids Peace is a charity dedicated to serving the behavioral and mental health needs of children, families, and communities. And they have services in Pennsylvania, Maine, and Georgia. And so the Kids Peace campus in Bowden, Georgia, where I live, provides a room, board, and watchful oversight for male and female clients, and a separate program with treatment of males with sexual issues. These are kids, ladies and gentlemen, that have come from horrific backgrounds. This is a group of kids that if they did not have Kids Peace, they would probably be in a juvenile delinquency facility locked up. These kids have issues. These kids have problems, okay? We've all got problems. Unfortunately, these kids have a lot. Now, we live in a world, ladies and gentlemen, that is filled with drugs, addictions, all types of different calamities and diseases and illnesses that people experience. The worst of which is imposed upon our children. 3 of my 5 children are drug babies. 3 of the 5 were drug babies. You wouldn't know it. You really wouldn't. God has blessed them greatly that they don't have any lasting effects of drugs in their system. It's hard to believe that, the little one today, she is 6 years old. It is her gotcha day. And gotcha days are as big for her as birthdays. Gotcha is the day that we adopted her. So we just took strawberry covered pink covered donuts with pink sprinkles to her little first grade class to celebrate and allow her classmates to celebrate in her gotcha day. So it's a special, special time. You never know that she had meth and cocaine in her system when she was born. So just a blessing. But these are kids that are troubled, y'all. And we have an opportunity to go into Kids Peace and to have 6-hour sessions, 6 one-hour sessions with Kids Peace to help these kids that are in 8th grade to 12th grade with their financial futures. And I am calling on you to see what we can do in 48 minutes to design a curriculum for them. Are you ready for the task? The task before you. You and I will create 6 one-hour sessions. We can divide each hour session up into 3 20-minute segments. So we're having 6 times 3 is 18 separate segments. Are y'all ready? Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us here. We can go into breakout rooms. There's all kind of different things that we can do. But first thing I need to do is this. Calling on your wisdom. What could we share with them for the 6 major buckets? Can we identify 6 major buckets that these troubled kids need? Can we at least do that? And we've talked somewhat about this before, but we've never talked about it specifically for this group of kids. So we got 6 groups of kids. I mean, we got tons of kids, right? We got 50 or 60 kids, and we've got 6 1-hour sessions. I believe that we need 6 buckets of information to talk about them in these hourly sessions, complete with activities. Now, we don't have to finish this today either, y'all. So I don't want you to think that this is something that we got to finish today, but this is something that we can work on throughout the course. What are the 6 buckets that these kids need to know? It's one thing talking about Roth IRAs to a regular senior. It's a different thing talking about a Roth IRA to someone who, if they're not in Kids Peace, may very well be on the street. Katie, help us identify a bucket. Now, again, we're brainstorming. All right, we're brainstorming.
What is money?
What is money?
Yeah, just basically what is money and how is it a tool?
So I think what you're probably saying is, in part of the definition of money is a tool, right?
Yes.
Okay, I like that. I like that one bucket. You think we could do a whole hour on what is money?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Isabel, you got something. We're brainstorming. Nothing you say is wrong. You could say how to take care of your cat when you only have, no, how to take care of your 5 cats when you only have 1 litter box. I mean, that could be a bucket. Okay, I'm just saying this is brainstorming. Isabel, give me something.
Well, how old are they?
They're like 8th grade to 12th grade, and they're both boys and girls. They're in a treatment facility. They have horrendous family relationships. The family can't deal with them. They're somewhere where, you know, they have to be put in a place for their education. So we're helping them. We got to help them. It's our job, y'all. They don't know anything about money. What are we going to do? So what is money? We need to define money, show them that it's a tool.
Well, this is supposed to be 1 hour and there's time for an activity. That's what you're saying, right?
Right. So in that hour, we get 6 hours with them. Okay. You and I will get 6 hours with them, and we need to design a course for the 6 hours that we get to spend with these kids. And I would suggest, you know, upwards of 3 activities, if we could, every 20 minutes, do something to give them an activity, right? What is money? Think about those activities. So Isabel, we're just brainstorming. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you wish you knew known about money, especially if you had a troubled childhood? You're going to be out on the streets if you don't have something. I mean, you may be breaking and entering into places to steal things to get your money if we don't figure you out something.
That's hard for me because I don't know what I would teach to such a young person other than to like not spend it all at one time.
Not spend it all at one time. So you're talking about, well, let's just put spending up here somewhere, okay? Spending. When I hear spending, I think of expenses. Okay,
well,
that's
like
good.
when kids usually get money, like they get crazy. They're like, I want candy, I want toys, and like it's stuff that they don't need. Where I think maybe these kids might they might know what it's like to not blow it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they might already know to you know, save a little bit more of it than to hoard it, basically, because they don't know when they'll get the next one.
And the thing is, if they were not in this facility, they may not know where their next meal is coming from.
Right.
Okay, good. Shannon, share something with us. What's the first thing off the top of your mind? We're brainstorming.
Well, on this one, I was thinking activities for number 1 and number 2, and that's probably not what you want.
No, that's fine too.
Well, I was thinking like, what is money? You could take Monopoly money, and of course they know what dollar bills are, but you could use that in like a market type setting. Like, here are some things like little prizes, little giveaways, but you have to earn it. You have to buy it, and kind of that ties into number 2. You don't want to blow it. So would you rather save your dollars and not get these little trinkets to get something better at the end of this session? Which would then tie into number 3. You could do like some type of psychology, like why do you want to spend versus save?
Well, I'm thinking even if you simplify, you got what is money? 2, how do you earn money? 3, how do you spend money? 4, how do you save money?
Oh, this is good stuff. Hold on a second. How do you earn money?
And then the why, like Katie's saying, like, why do you want to spend? Because if these are troubled teens, they're there for a reason. And I'm going to assume a huge majority don't have money, and that's why they're there. So why is it so important? And why do you need it? For what purposes should you be needing money for versus, at whatever the case is?
Needs and wants. Well, and needs and wants may be its own, like number 5, that could be 5, needs versus wants. Because I think Shannon's onto something. All of us have a reason psychologically why we do what we do with money or don't do. Like, it is very hard for me to spend it because my mom always made me feel as though I didn't have enough, even when we did. And so there are needs that I have in my family. I'm like, we can go without it. We'll go without it, even though it's a justifiable need. So we put ourselves in a hard, but then you flip over and some people take the inverse of that. So the psychology of this for certain would be important.
And what did you say a while ago? You said, what is money? How do we earn money? And you threw out a couple of other ones.
What is money? 2, how do you earn it? 3, spending money. 4, saving money. And then 5, needs and wants. And then 6, maybe what next? And that's where you could talk about investing.
So this is saving.
Here, I'll type that up for you.
Yeah, type that up for us. That's awesome. I like this. All right, so let's see. So I think we got a good little list again. Let's clarify these. So let's go. Our 6 buckets. All right, so we like what is money is bucket 1, right? Let me get a rainbow thing here. What is money? Okay. How to earn money, right? And then we said how to save money. Correct me if I'm wrong on these. How to save money. Oh, you got it in chat, don't you? Let's see.
Yeah, I put it in chat for you.
Okay, what is money? Earning, spending, saving.
Which you could flop either of those the other way. I'd probably do saving first. Yeah, do saving first.
Saving and spending.
Bring in your 70-30.
Good. Needs versus wants. We got that. And then what's next? Investing. Okay, look at this. All right. So we got our big 6. Now let's look over. What is money? Yeah, they need to know what money is, right? Now, a lot of them will go, oh, this is lame, bro. I mean, what is money? We know what money is, man, right? What is money? But we're really talking more about, that it's a tool. It's a tool that is not only to get your immediate needs, but it's to get your needs that you don't even know that you have in the future. How to earn money. That's good. How to save. How to spend, right? Because we're talking about spending wisely. Needs versus wants. What's next? Investing. Everybody good with this? Anyone got something else we need to add? Okay, so now.
Well, make sure you put in there somewhere, and I don't know where you'd put it, but debit and credit cards are not just money. That the credit card is not just gonna give you money. So somewhere, whether it's spending it through credit card, spending it wisely, or the fact that in what is money, a debit card and a credit card are not money. They require money.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a good thing to put in the, what is money, right? Because we're talking about what is money, what is not money.
I was gonna say like debt awareness,
Oh,
protecting
Evan's
your
in
money.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Now you said what, debt awareness, protecting your money?
Yeah, you said it was like 8th grade through 12th grade.
Mhm.
So it's like right before 18. That's when they're gonna start getting bombarded by creditors. So just preserving your money, just debt awareness.
And that probably should be in, I guess the spending, right? Because that's where we need to talk about debt too, right? Is in the spending, right? Don't spend beyond your means. That's good. That's one of our subtopics here of how to or spending money, debt, right? That sounds good. Okay, and it could also be part of this needs versus wants as well, right? Don't use debt to get the wants, especially. Okay, good. So maybe we'll put even the talk of debt here. Okay. Kaylin says, I just saw your very colorful final exam. Kudos to you. That was really cool. Companies, businesses you can trust for help versus creditors. Oh, that's good. Give me an example, Kaylin. I don't know who you can trust. I don't think we can trust the banks a lot of times. They're always feeding us to death, aren't they? They're taking our money and everything.
So I would probably start with what a fiduciary is. Look for somebody that's in that realm versus somebody that's just calling and saying, hey, you owe me money. Can you please pay me the balance so we don't report it to the credit agency? That kind of person. Like sometimes, I guess, the creditors will call and say like, hey, if you just pay us this, we'll take it off your credit report, but they don't. And then you're kind of in the weeds, like trying to figure out how to make I don't know, I guess maybe what a credit report is in general, if they're that young.
So credit report, your reputation, because that speaks to them, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you start out with nothing. So it's not necessarily good to have nothing, but it's not necessarily bad. So they can easily make things upwards for themselves. But yeah, like getting into bed with the credit card company, like, yeah, it's not gonna turn out so well if you just think it's free money and I'm just gonna ignore this, and 7 years later you're still dealing with it, or
Great. Oh, and I think the thing, I'll be speaking to a high school in Alabama tomorrow. I love the thing that Katie, that y'all brought up about, hey, look at your parents' financial situation. You're going to be the spitting image of them unless you do something different, right? Now, how do you say that to kids that may not even have parents? Or that their
you could always
parents
have
are
really bad examples to show them from just randos. Or
And you could use their situation they're in. Are you happy with where you're at in life? What would you do if you could change it? How would you do that?
I like that.
Because, some of them are there and it's not really 100% their fault. So what, we don't want to really blame their parents because they might not have them, but what would you do to change the situation you're in if you had every opportunity?
Or maybe not even changing it, but you have the opportunity, empower them some and just say, you have the opportunity to build the life you want from here on out. How are you going to do that? What does that life look like?
Regardless of where they are right now. You're right.
Yeah.
They kind of need to know that they can be a rags to riches story, don't they?
100%.
They need that hope, don't they? They need that. They need to know that you can start out with nothing and make something.
So this might be a little off topic, but it's rags to riches. We just did a dance with that theme. And the idea was we took like trash bags or newspapers or something, and they were supposed to make dresses or whatever for this formal dance. I don't know if you want an activity that maybe won't fit in 1 hour, but it would be fun. Get some
Wait a
newspaper
minute.
and have
I
them make
like that. I like
dresses.
that. So tell me how y'all use that, Caitlin. That sounds really interesting.
So it was a formal dance. We were just like, hey, take some trash. Basically, it could be like chip wrappers or trash bags, newspapers. We had a girl that used Christmas paper. We had somebody that did CDs and like made outfits for this dance, and then they got prizes. But I don't know. I'm not really sure how you could do that with money. I don't know. It's just the fun activity of saying, look, just because you're wearing trash doesn't mean you are trash.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Well, I really like that. All right, look, there's great brainstorming here. Let's keep going.
The money that colleges give you isn't always free.
Do you
Yes.
really need college?
You really need college. Exactly.
Where do we put that? Let's find one here. I guess we could be under,
How to earn money?
yeah, right? Because a lot of them,
Yeah.
are told erroneously, you need a college education. Not necessarily.
A trade school could be just as lucrative. Who was it?
Mhm.
Katie, your brother, right? That has the
Yeah, rub it in. I had a client today. She's like, it's gonna cost me $2,500 to cut down a stinking tree. I was like, yeah, I know.
You know,
Here I am.
good. Good.
Well, and it's one of those, if you somehow consolidated, if you found that spending and saving, if you could consolidate that, maybe that becomes another aspect of bettering yourself. So like you got the what's next, but taking one of these away from money completely, and the way that you've done with us, let's talk about your community, let's talk about these things, and just saying, let's talk about how you can go out into this world as a confident human, knowing that you've been given some tools and you have your own story and you bring value. So we've got the first 5 lessons, and they're all about value with money and what's money worth and how do we do that. But then if we wrap this up and say, you are more valuable than everything you've just learned, it's a matter of how you present that. I think that these kids need to hear that. I mean, I tell my children all the time, I love you. I'm happy at what you're doing. I try not to just say, I'm proud of you, because I want them to know what it's for. But these children don't get that. And so to have someone say, you're worth more than diamonds and rubies, they need to hear that too.
Excellent.
Yeah, kind of you determine your worth. Don't let other people.
Now, I would imagine that these kids have a lot of peer pressure. Right? So
Oh.
they may be feel obliged to join a gang so that they can belong. And this kind of is our little thing with how we don't need to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Tell them the value of a mentor, finding a mentor or someone that will also invest in them, not financially, but someone that will invest their time in them.
And that's the good thing that the kids piece tries to do, is they try to give them people, around them who will mentor them and help them out. And quite frankly, some of them are hard to help. Not all of these kids are going to be receptive to anything. It's the sad reality.
So something that I told my kids just the other day when I was like, look, you're not getting your work done in class. And they're like, nobody else is doing their work in class, you know? And I'm like, look, 90% of the population controls 10% of the money. 10% of the population controls 90% of the money. Do you want to be that 90% of your class that doesn't do anything and has to share 10% of the money? And they were kind of like, oh, no, I don't like that. I want to be the smaller percentage that has the greater amount.
That's good. I mean, and you can kind of at an early age, because they're at an early age, you kind of can forecast which group you want to be in too, right?
Mhm.
Let's see. That's probably in the what's next, you know. What'd you say again? Where do you want to be? The 90%?
Yeah, I told him 90% of the population controls 10% of the money, and 10% of the population controls 90% of the money.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like the idea of having a job that you're learning from. Like if you're working and you're not learning anymore, you're probably not going to be very happy. You're going to start to hate your life, hate your job, hate those that you work with. If you stop learning, then go find a job that you can learn from. Like it just adds to your basic human skills, not, you know, what do they call that? Transfer skills on your resume.
Because do you not see most people, don't they look miserable if you look at them in their cars and you're in traffic?
Oh yeah, I was
Most
just in
people
a
just
meeting with-
driving look miserable.
I was just in a meeting with principals and counselors and teachers just yesterday, and all of them, they were done. We still have a quarter left of school, and I could just tell, like, they hated their life, they hated their jobs, they could not get through to these kids, and it kind of broke my heart. And just imagine a lot of places are like that.
Well, and I think that these kids need to know. I had my personal trainer today. Oh, I hate that day. But, you know, and we were talking about the mountains and valleys of life, right? And I asked her, where is she at? She's in a valley. And I said, where are you at? I said, I'm on the edge of the mountain, but I don't know if I'm going up or I'm going down. In other words, I'm in a really good place, right? But these kids need to know that life is a series of triumphs, failures, triumphs, and failures, and that's normal. I mean, have I not told you guys about my business dealings? Didn't I tell you about me and the goats? You know, how I wanted to sell goats to Cubans, and my friend taught me that we were going to be so rich because Cubans love goats. And we bought all these goats. And then we're like, okay, how do you find a Cuban in Ranburne, Alabama? You can't ship goats to Cubans. There's an embargo. And I can't imagine me shipping my goats to downtown Miami. I mean, we had no idea how to get them there. We had all the goats we wanted. And then I also bought a real estate magazine. You know, where they used to go outside convenience stores, you see those nice little magazines, little glossy magazines, a real estate book. I bought one of those. Man, I was doing it all over the place. And I did it at a time when everything was going digital. What an idiot. I make the most horrible mistakes, and I do it at the worst time. So my timing is off, and you're going to have triumphs and failures in life, in business, in jobs. It's just normal. You've got to handle those.
They need to know too that failures, people who can really accept failures are the ones who tend to be more successful because they celebrate that.
Isn't that true? You learn from that. It makes you better. Excellent. Accept and learn from failures. You're going to be a failure. So I was doing a shoulder press today, and my trainer, I was able to do 8 of them. She increased the weight on them, and I did 8 of them. And she said, okay, your failure was at 8. And I said, you will reword that, young lady. I did not fail at 8. And so she said, okay, your muscles were exhausted at 8. There, I said, that's better. I said, don't call me a failure. I was like, even in my workouts, I did not want to hear, that I did something to failure. I was a failure. My muscles gave out. It wasn't that I failed. But they do need to know that, hey, you're going to have triumphs, you're going to have failures, and let's accept those and learn from the failures and allow those failures to make you into a stronger human being.
I
Yeah,
told
this is great.
Sharon she needed to join class today. She's listening. And
Oh,
she said-
Sharon, well, where's she at?
Come on,
at least
Sharon.
wave. Sharon, at least wave.
She said, it's not called failure, it's called feedback for the future.
Feedback. I like that. Sharon is
Sharonisms.
Sharonisms. And isn't Sharon the one that told us about hey, if you don't do something, you're going to be in the same financial situation as your parents?
Yes. Can you go ahead and just give her an A for the class, and she can at least say she has been to a Bama class?
Done. I'll even print her a certificate if she
Will
wants
you please?
on Alabama letterhead. How about that?
Please. I'll give you the address after class, and you can mail that to her, and she'll frame it, and I can be like, at least there's an A in this office somewhere.
Oh, can I tell y'all this? This is great. Y'all like this. So a student asked me the other day for a recommendation letter, right? And I'm always willing to accommodate letters. And I normally sit around and I do thoughtful letters and, blah, 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 blah. This time I went to Chat GPT and I said, write a recommendation letter for a student that was in my blah, blah, blah class. And she did extraordinarily well. And she's applying for the job of such and such, and do it all on one page. And 30 seconds later, blah, 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 there's the letter. I just signed it. It was amazing. Oh, we got Sharon's address there. There we go. We'll send her a certificate. She has to at least learn the words to the Alabama fight song, though, or at least sing it for us on the Zoom, which would be really cool. All right, y'all keep brainstorming. This is good, y'all. I mean, this is good stuff, y'all. This is life-changing stuff. You have an opportunity to change these kids' life. So we've got what is money, right? What is not money? How to earn money. And this is where we tell them about the lie that they don't need college. Now, college can be something. Somewhere in here, though, we need to instill in them a love of reading. God, if they don't read, how will they ever learn? How will you ever escape your current situation if you're not a reader?
Yes, they need to learn to read. I hate reading. Cannot stand it. But I know I need it. I'll listen to an audiobook rather than reading the book. But they really do need to learn to love to read.
And I think you learn it by actually doing it. You just got to push yourself during those early times where, these kids didn't have mom and dad probably, cuddling them up, reading them a bedtime story. So this is new stuff to them. But gosh, they need it so bad. That's why I say, you can do all the assignments in this class, but if you're not doing the reading, if you're not doing the watching of the videos, you're cheating yourself of the education.
Yeah.
You got to do the reading. You got to have a quest for learning. That's the thing, a quest for knowledge, right? Not necessarily in reading, a quest for knowledge. That's how you escape your situation. Got to have a quest for knowledge. All right, someone else give me something. What you got?
Is there any way that you can throw in an activity for, I mean, I know you don't balance a checkbook anymore, but maybe some type of activity for opening a checking account or looking at a bank statement, educating them on what that stuff looks like real life things that they have to do when they're grown-ups.
So one of the schools that I spoke to this year did an excellent thing. they brought in all these kids and they assigned them a life situation. So they would say, you're married with 2 children, or you're single, or you're divorced, and you've got 5 kids or no kids or whatever. And that's what we could do, assign life situations. So what we could do is this. And I could easily Google this and find out the average salary. Okay, hey, Joe Blow, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be? You know, and I'm sure I'll get the occasional, I want to be a car thief, or I want to be the, you know, because they just want to be funny, you know, kids doing that. But, you know, if they say, okay, I'm going to be a auto mechanic, then I could easily pull up an average salary of an auto mechanic, right? And figure out what that average is, or the mean. And then I can assign them a life situation, like, you know, you're living with somebody, your partner, and, you know, y'all got 3 kids, and then allow them to, okay, you got to find a place to rent. An average 1 or 2 bedroom in this area is going for this amount, you know, and kind of go into a budgeting type situation. Y'all got any thoughts on that? Just giving them real life examples where they have to budget and they have to, you know, come up with different scenarios and how they're going to do, and basically say, okay, you don't have enough money to make this happen. Now, what are you going to do?
Our extension does that here in Coleman County.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they have volunteers from different industries come in. So I might come in, and a banker might come in and do finance. We've got people that come in from insurance. We've got people that come in from some of the car dealerships. We've got people that come in, some of the realtors. So they do that, and that's a whole morning event where the kids walk in and they are talking with the professionals too. And I especially think it's important when you get into those junior and senior years, when you put these kids in front of professionals, to let them know you need to start connecting with these professionals already. Like, you need to have your LinkedIn ready. You need to start doing these things. So that way you're already meeting these people and keeping contact with them.
They need to know the power of networking, don't they?
For sure. And a good impression. So it's not just enough to make a good connection. You need to take, like, keep that connection going. You also need to make a good impression. And it's one that you may not feel it's a great impression, but somebody else might think that they were highly impressed that you just asked to connect.
Excellent. Excellent. I mean, they need to know, I mean, Katie, you bring it up, but, you know, making a good impression. I mean, they need to know, I mean, think about how simple things they need to know. They need to know the power of a handshake. I mean, something that all of us would consider to be, you know, so simple. They need to know something like that.
I would love to see like the game of life set up in like a big expo center. You know, it's like, all right, everybody starts here. If you're going to college, you go this way. If you're going career, you go this way. And you hit little tables, and they're like, oh no, you just got a bill. Sorry, you got to go to the bank. Or, but that's probably way more in depth than you're thinking.
No, but I mean, on a kind of a, you know, 10,000 foot view, that's exactly what they need.
The American dream is not all it's cracked up to be. It's outdated.
American dream. Remember
I'll
my,
speak to that too.
yeah.
This is something that I'm kind of realizing as a female. I have been taught so long, and I don't know if I've spoken about this in this class, but taught so long, be independent, be independent, be independent, be independent, be independent. It has made being dependent on my husband very hard. And I think that's something that we have to realize is we have, as a society, pushed so hard for independence for everybody that we have to let these children know you can be independent, but when you find somebody that you can trust, dependency is not a bad thing. And that doesn't matter if you come from a bad home or good home, because I came from a very good home. And my dad told me the other day, he's like, I wish I would have taught you how to be a little bit more dependent on your husband. And I was like, well, gee, thanks for taking the fall on that one, Dad. So
But at the end of the day, I understand that totally, right? That, I remember when Hillary Clinton several years ago, was like, it takes a village. And I said, what a bunch of hogwash. Takes a village. What does that mean? If it is to be, it's up to me. But after having, the 5 kids now, I don't know how Beth and I do it. We have to be in 2 places and sometimes 3 or 4 places all at the same time. Were it not for my mother, taking the kid to one game while we're going to 2 separate games, I don't know how we could do it. Without some of the other moms at school that could take a kid here or there or whatever, I don't know how we do it. It kind of does take a village to, and you got to find those people that you can trust to help you in this game of life. It's very difficult. It's not at all like it is in the movies of 1950s. Things are tough. You've got people that can't, that right now in my town, and I'm sure yours as well, there are people who don't have running water and electricity in their house right now simply because they can't afford it. Or maybe not shelter at all. Maybe it's good that they got shelter without power or whatever. They at least got a roof over the head, but they don't have water. They don't have, the necessities of life. And it is difficult to ask for help, isn't it? It's difficult to ask for help.
I think that's important to let some of these kids understand the parallel that they have with children who do come from good homes, because I don't believe that many of these kids will think, oh, the struggles that I have and the way that I feel about myself is how a child whose parents have given them everything also feels. It's human nature. They need to understand that they are human just as much as this child with the church and both parents and everything. They are human, and the emotions that we feel, they're very much alike.
Good. Would it be overly to show them a time value of money, a simple illustration? You think they even care about that? Are they able to see
No,
20,
do
30 years
that.
on?
Yes, do that. That's such a good idea.
First thing you do, I'll teach you how to be a millionaire.
Because they all want to be a millionaire, right?
Oh yeah, everybody's living for that dream.
And to let them know that they can do it.
And not just by buying lottery tickets.
Take what people spend on the lottery tickets and put it into the plan and show them what lottery ticket money could have earned them.
There you go.
Yeah.
That $5 a week on your lottery ticket.
It's just hard when somebody can't see tomorrow to tell them, oh, look where you'll be at 65. That's a little hard, But yeah, I agree with you. They need to
Don't take it to
see.
65. Take it to next year.
Yeah, take it to next year. There you go. If you
Here's
do
when you're
this.
18 and you become an adult. Here's when you're 21 and you can now drink. Here's when you're
Penny.
25 and
Do the
you
penny
think you're an
today,
adult,
double
but
the
you're
penny.
not.
Yeah, so if I give you a penny today and double it, and I double that penny, and I don't use that simple concept. You've seen
Oh,
that.
that's a good one. Yeah, the penny a day, penny doubled every day.
It ends up like $5 million at the end of a month.
Hmm.
So you say, would you rather take $1 million today or penny doubled? Penny doubled.
That's a great one. Yeah, that's a good one. Really good. Put a star by that. Well, What else we got? We got a few more minutes to throw around little things here. Look at what we've done here, y'all. Look at this. This is great. And this is the thing that I really send you off of this course out with, right? I want you to help your clients. I do. But how can you help your clients if you can't help yourself? You got to help yourself first. Okay, we got that covered. I think everybody knows what you got to do now to help yourself and to put yourself in the best financial position possible for your financial future. We know you live below your means. You live on 70. You know, it's the other 30% that you're doing to invest in your community and in yourself and in your world. Okay, so we got that done. Everybody can do that, but you're going to help your clients. Okay, so you're going to get paid for that. But then when you leave, also be a little ambassador and do something to help the world. Here's the problem with our world now. Okay, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. I don't care if you're Muslim or Jew. I don't care if you're black or white. I don't care if you're, you're communist or socialist or capitalist. I don't care. The media makes out that everything is black and white and that we all hate one another. And it's just not the truth. That is not the truth. They make money in division. If I can divide you so that you hate your neighbor, then we can create havoc and we can sell our content and attract advertisers. What you do to your neighbor and to your community will not get reported on. It will not be on the front page of the New York Times. Okay? But what you do will be an eternal gift to the world as a whole by not being the one who hates those that are different than us, by embracing and having conversations. It's fine to disagree with others, right? It's fine to disagree. I mean, you think about all the things in the world that they want us to hate each other on now, you know, whether it's gun control, whether it's abortion, whether it's Republican or Democrat, they want us divided. And the truth is, it's okay to have disagreements. As we look back at the history of our country, there certainly were disagreements. There were duels and murders because of disagreements. I contend, though, that in most times that civil disagreement is more important than uncivil rest, right? Getting in someone's face with a bullhorn is not going to spread the good news. For example, in our area, you know, I go to the Baptist church here. So that's the church that we go to. And occasionally we might have a float in the Christmas parade or something. And then there's this one guy who gets a bullhorn and he's got his Bible and he's got a flag and he goes down and he's yelling to everybody that, hey, you're going to hell unless you repent and everything. And I sit here and I go, you know, I appreciate you trying to get out a message, you know, of a heaven and hell. I appreciate that. But I go, it's just the delivery. The delivery's off a little bit. You know, you're shouting at people. What are you doing to make this parade better? Shouting at people during a Christmas parade is not really the way to do it, right? Because what that does is it divides people. You know, how about this? You're at a Christmas parade. How about handing out something with a candy cane on it, you know, or a piece of candy? How about doing something that's kind to others rather than, you know, a finger in your face? And I'm sure that these children that we are talking about have had plenty of fingers in their faces, right? So now it needs to be us that hands them a piece of candy or that hands them a food, that hands them something good and says, listen, guys, you may have had a rough life, but you can excel beyond your current situation. You are not defined by your current struggles and situation. You can rise above it. And that's the world that I want you guys to participate in. I'm not saying that there's not a time to march for something that you believe in, but I'm saying things done in love, things done in a positive way are much better than things done in a negative, divisive way. You agree? Disagree?
Like leading by example.
Yeah, you got to lead by example, right?
Well, and you know, today was the day that we have a women's networking group here that we got started in Coleman, and we were all talking about it. It's very small. It's one of those groups that we don't just bring anybody in like a big networking group, but we bring in people that we truly believe are there for the best. And it started as a way to help us grow our businesses through referral, but it has turned into growing our business through encouragement. And that it's invaluable to me. It's worth my time to go because I may get a referral from that ever so often, but I can walk away motivated because these women are not there to tear me down. They're not there to compete with me. They're there to lift me up and support me when I'm not around. There's this saying that's really popular right now in some female business communities, and it's there's a plate at the table for every woman, or if you're not welcome at the table, build your own table. And I think that when we do that, whether it's helping these children or helping other people that we're dealing with, realizing like we don't have to be in competition with everybody. But if I do something good for Isabel, then that's going to turn, and she may or may not reciprocate that to me, but she may do something great for Kaylin, who may be able to do something for Evan and Shannon. And it's because of the way that we encourage each other.
And that's good because you'd probably admit, because I see it as a woman, I'm not one, but I see that there are often times when it could be women are quick to tear other women down. Boy, you see that often, don't you? And so to be in an environment like that where, you know, you guys are lifting each other up rather than tearing each other down is phenomenal. It's wonderful.
Yeah, letting the kids know too. Create a space here because that's something that, you know, for us, we were all women in referral-driven businesses. That was our connector. So you've got this group of kids you're going to be talking to that their connector is they all came from a bad spot. And the world is against them, you know, or the odds are against them. Lean into that and be willing to encourage each other in those situations to better each other versus being jealous of one another when something good happens to one. Because I can tell you, if something good happens to me and you're going to tear me down, if I had a little extra to give you, I'm going to give it to somebody that wants to celebrate with me. So that karma, if you will, really is the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. So
Sometimes you need new friends.
what was that, Kaylin?
Sometimes you just need new friends.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we've talked about today investing in our world, in our community. What is it? What is the Bible says? Share the good news to Jerusalem, Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the earth. Right. So you got this little circle, and there's bigger circle, and then there's the worldwide circle. So what you have done today is a phenomenal job because you have helped me craft or design. I'll put some finishing touches on it and everything on how to speak to these kids in Bowden, Georgia. And so you now have impacted these kids, and hopefully that impact will continue to spread. And you got something that you can impact with kids in different groups in your area as well by taking the same information that we share. Any last comments before we go?
Make sure you put us in the credits.
I'll put you in the credits. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. It's been a wonderful session. I will see y'all on Thursday.